Thank you, Deputy Speaker. 3,000 police, snipers on the roof, a ring of steel around the central business district of Sydney. Workers, visitors, residents told to stay either at home or away. What is going on in this country? How has it gotten to this? The visit by Israeli President Isaac Herzog has been greeted with remarkable scenes, not just in Sydney, not just in Melbourne, Wagga Wagga, Benalla. This has to stop. It simply must stop. I'm not quite sure, indeed, what these people are still protesting about. I've nothing against peaceful demonstrations. It's part and parcel of living in a democracy. But the Australian government's adherence to Palestinian statehood was announced on the 11th of August last year, formally recognised on the 21st of September last year. I disagreed with it, but this is what the United Nations and this is what our nation did and followed through on. And yet, still we're seeing protests week after week, day after day, in our capital cities, in our country cities. And for what? I just don't understand it. And some of them are saying, well, they're peaceful demonstrations. No, they're not. Because if you talk to the officers who are engaged with babysitting these people, they will tell you that these people throw things at them, anything they can lay their hands on. They spit at them. Where have we got to as a country? Why is this happening? They would be far better off volunteering their time at a soup kitchen, attending a cancer hospice, doing anything but what they're doing. I spoke to the Labor New South Wales Police and Counter-Terrorism Minister, Yasmin Catley, on Friday night. She's doing a good job, under tremendous pressure. So too, I have to say, is Premier Chris Minns. He has shown leadership against all of this. And thank goodness we have Mal Lanyon in as the Police Commissioner, because he has requested, and rightly so, extensions to prohibitions on these protests. And then, of course, we've got the Teachers Federation and others involved in teaching our children, using, I should say abusing, Bluey, a much-loved children's character, to promote their propaganda, their river to the sea. I don't get it. I'm sorry, I just don't. I do not understand how and why these people think it's right that they can use Australian icons, Bluey, the Opera House, Sydney Harbour Bridge, to promote their hatred, their spite, particularly after what went on the 14th of December, when 15 beautiful, innocent lives were taken. And there is a correlation. Make no mistake, there is a correlation. I mean, it might be all right for some commentators on the ABC to see that there might, or to argue that there might not be, but there is. And I would urge and encourage people to read the op-ed in the Daily Telegraph today by Paul Nicolau, who is a leading advocate in the Sydney business community, because he, like so many in Melbourne, have had a gutful of the protests which have such an impact on those small businesses in the CBDs of those two cities. And in Melbourne, they've had more than 100 protests, week after week after week. And for what? For what? Holding that city at ransom and those businesses which take risks, which invest. Those people, those protesters, would be far better off doing something good for a change and keeping their hate to themselves. They don't need it all. Australia's better than this. Authorised by Michael McCormack, the National Party, Wagga Wagga.